UFC Fight Night Orlando, Thompson versus Holland takes place this weekend, and I'm going to go through the full card breakdown and in detailed predictions, starting with the early prelim opener of, I might speed through this card, because this is a fucking long card, stat card, I respect it. Let's just get into it. Starting with the early prelim opener of Yasmine Yagui versus Estella Nunez. I think this is a no-brainer here. If you're picking Estella Nunez, get the fuck out. Yagui will win. I think she's very good as well. I think she's actually a capable females fighter. I don't know yet if she's the future, as like people are saying. I mean, people are kind of saying she's the future because she's from Mexico, and Brandon Moreno's from where she's from in Tijuana. So I don't know quite yet if she's the future. She did have a competitive close fight against Yasmine Lucindo. You know? And Lucindo took that on short notice. You know? So, I think she looked good in that one. She won against Lucindo. But I think it will be Estella Nunez. Honestly, I think this is like a step down in competition here. Like Estella Nunez, like, she looked alright against Ariane Carlosi, but we just seen Carlosi just has no ground game at all. Eventually got subbed in the third round. Sam Hughes beat her as well. I'm gonna go Yasmine Yagui with the grappling, winning this one, 30-27. Maybe a finish, maybe a rear naked choke. But she's a big favorite here, 23 years old. She gets it done. Moving on, up the card, Francis Marshall versus Marcelo Rojo. I'm going to be going with Francis Marshall here. Marcelo Rojo is just mediocre as fuck. He's not good any way whatsoever. Like, he is decent. Like, he did lose to Kyler Phillips by triangle armbar. He did lose to Kyler Phillips there. And Charles Jordan. He won there. He didn't win there, but he lost there and had good fights against them. But he just isn't good himself. Like, he's tough and he can scrap back, and he's tough. But he's just not good himself. 34 years old. I just don't see any skill from him. He looked alright against Charles Jordan. Probably on a full camp, he probably would win that. But that Kyler Phillips fight was just nothing to me, if I'm being honest. So yeah. Francis Marshall, I think, gets this one done. This guy's a good prospect, 23 years old. He's good, you know? He's a decent guy. Beat Connor Matthews on the Contender Series and has overall decent wins here and there. He hasn't fought great competition, but I think Rojo maybe gives him a tough first round, but Marshall uses his grappling to get the second and third and get the job done. Maybe a late finish, but I doubt it. Moving on. Up the card, Natan Levy versus Gennaro Valdez. Let me see if my mic's on. Okay, it is. I'm gonna be going for Gennaro Valdez here, actually, over Natan Levy. He's an underdog as well. Yeah, I think Natan Levy's complete dog shit, man. I really do believe so. You could say the same about Gennaro Valdez, but we've seen him fight once against Matt Favola and lost to Matt Favola, but you could say the same thing for Otman Azaitar, who just got slept out cold by Matt Favola. So it's not even a bad loss in hindsight, and he was scrapping back and forth with Matt Favola, eventually got caught himself and put down, ground and pounded out. But I think that was so much more so of the pressure. He's now taken 11 months off to focus on himself. Now he's fighting at the end of the year against Natan Levy. He's good. Like, he beat Patrick White 9-1. Edgar Diaz Guzman 6-4. Not bad. He beat the Miguel guy 8-3. 5-0. This guy, like, he's fought alright competition. Not the best here and there, but Natan Levy, he's so ready to be exposed type fighter. And what I mean by that is, like, yeah, he lost to half of Garcia, but we've kind of seen Garcia went on to kind of be kind of good in the division. I think I just repeated my sentence twice there. But the Mike Breeden fight is just a huge red flag. Like, Mike Breeden's complete dog shit, and Mike Breeden got smoked by Alexander Hernandez in round 1. and he went to a war with Breeden. I think Valdez will catch him on the chin in a scrap. Be tougher than Natan Levy. Levy lost to Garcia. Close fight. Kind of got outpointed there. Yeah, Valdez I think will catch him. It'll be a scrap. Levy hurts Valdez at first. Levy kind of gets taken down. No, Valdez gets taken down. Lands some shots. Levy lands some shots. Maybe wins round 1, round 2. Maybe Valdez will just catch him on the chin, put Levy out cold, and expose him. Moving on, up the card, and Valdez is young as well. 30 years old. Okay, screw both of these guys. They won't be anything. Moving on up the card, Tracy Cortez versus Amanda Ribas. Interesting one here. Let's go with Amanda Ribas. I think Amanda Ribas gets this one done. I just don't think Cortez is good, man. She kind of gets lucky in her fights. I think Melissa Gatto is just a fucking idiot who doesn't know how to fight. Let's be real. I think Ribas will win this one. I think so. I think she's smarter than Gatto. Better stand up than Gatto. I think she has more IQ than Gatto. And to be honest with you, Gatto-Cortez, that fight was close. Close fight. She lost round 2 to Gatto. I think Ribas is a bit better than Gatto and has more IQ than Gatto. And she'll win here. On the feet, outpoint Tracy Cortez, who just wings overhands like Mackenzie Dern. And Ribas scolded Mackenzie Dern for 3 rounds. So I think that'll be an esque performance by what's her name? Maddie Ribas. Darren couldn't take her down. Seems like Ribas was just beating her on the feet pretty easily. So I think it'll be the same, and Cortez doesn't have that BJJ like Darren. And yeah. What is Cortez even? Just lay on top and land total strikes? Yeah, I don't think that will work against Ribas. Ribas beat Verna Jandaroba as well, which was an impressive victory. Yeah. Should have won against Chikagian, arguably. I don't think she did, but some people thought she won that fight. Simps. But that was a close fight still against Chikagian. So, yeah. And when Van Zandt got her to the ground, immediate armbar. So, yeah. I don't think it'll go to the ground, though. I think Cortez will keep spamming takedowns. Ribas wins with damage. 30-27, Amanda Ribas, easy win. Moving on. And Cortez, she just isn't good. Justine Kish is just absolute dog shit, and I think Kish is now looking good at Bellator. I think I might have missaid that, but when she fought her, dog shit. Made the fight really close. Moving on up the card. And there's something in my mouth. Wait. Okay, we're good now. I don't know what that was. Moving on up the card. Darren Elkins versus Jonathan Pierce. Fuck, I need to speed through this, man. I don't want this being an hour long. I'll go Jonathan Pierce here. I don't get this fight. Why is Elkins still in it, man? Good for him, I guess. Make the money while you can. Yeah, I don't think Elkins wins, man. He's 38. Honestly, other than the Swanson loss, where Swanson was just a little bit too explosive for him, he's been looking alright. He beat Tristan Connolly, beat Derek Minner, beat Eduardo Grigori. He's actually been looking kind of good, not gonna lie. But I think Jonathan Pierce is one of those guys who can just beat him. I think Pierce is pretty good, man. He looked impressive against Makwana Mirkani. He looked improved against Makwana Mirkani as well. Beat Christian Rodriguez, who's now gone on to beat guys in the UFC. And beat Omar Morales as well. Beat Kai Kamaka III. He's been on a streak right now. Some fights he doesn't look too impressive. Of course, he has that loss to Joe Lozon. I think he'll win. His Makwana Mirkani performance was quite underrated. I like that performance. And he's 30 years old. JSP. I think he's going to get this one done. I don't even know. Does he grapple Elkins? Probably. I mean, he's a heavy favorite. Jeez, Elkins has a chance. But I just don't. I'm going to go Pierce winning this one on the feet. Not a great performance, but he wins where he just wins. So he gets it done by decision. 29-28, close decision, but he wins it. Moving on up the card. Michael Johnson versus Marc Chikadze. Marc Chikadze will just out-grapple him. He'll just out-grapple him. I think this card is quite one-sided of picks, if I'm honest with you. It could go really bad or really good for me. I mean, last card was, I think the last card, like, Nizuchukwu Kutalaba, I did alright, but I'm gonna go Chikadze out-grappling him. It's just, if you're picking Chikadze by KO, it's kind of stupid at this point. He just keeps grappling with people. Why? Oh, I'll just strike with Michael Johnson, risk getting KO'd. No, he's gonna grapple Johnson, now grapple him. Like, that's how he's gonna win. Johnson, though, has been looking good recently. Like, he could have won against Jamie Malarkey, but still, Ray's a close fight. Not a robbery in any way whatsoever. He could have honestly still lost the fight. I think he won it. Barely, though. But, he beat Alan Patrick. Or Alan Patrick, or whatever. Who cares? He cut anyways. Don't have to say his dumb name. But yeah, but he just gets grappled here and there. Like, Clay Guida grappled with him. You know, these guys have... Habib did it as well. I know it's Habib, but still. He also did it. You know, people have seemed to just out-grapple him pretty easily. So I think Chikadze will as well. And Chikadze's weirdly strong. And he beat Damir Hadzovic. Dominated him. Dominated Vyacheslav Borshev. I think he's going to be Mike Johnson. And get the job done here. So, yeah. We'll see, though. But I think he wins it. Just grappling Michael Johnson for 3 rounds. Boring decision. Moving on. Up the card. To another fight on the card, which is Clay Guida versus Scott Holtzman. I'm gonna probably go Scott Holtzman over Clay Guida. I'm gonna speed through this, man. Yeah, I couldn't care less about this one, but I'll go Scott Holtzman being too strong for Clay Guida and just outstriking him at range. Guida's done. Why is he still in it? Like, why? I know he's had some Grappling Fury Pro grappling matches against Brad Bolton and Alex Caceres. But, like, I don't know, what is he doing? I don't know. I'll go with Scott Holtzman now. He lost to Claudio Puelles, beat Leonardo Santos, but he got beat up there. Yeah. Don't know what to say about this one. Scott Holtzman wins. Scott Holtzman lost to Matthias Gamrot and Beneil Dariush, but both those guys are very good. Beat Dong Hyung Ma and Jim Miller. And yeah, he's good. I think he'll just outgrind Guida and outstrike him, be too strong for him. Moving on up the card. Angela Hill versus Emily Dakota. Angela Hill, Emily Dakota. Let's go Emily Dakota over Angela Hill. Yeah. Man, that last one, Guida Holtzman, just not intriguing. I'll go Emily Dakota here over Angela Hill. Yeah, it was good. She did beat Lupita Godinez in that last one. But still a close fight. You know, like, she arguably won against Lemos. Let's be real. Hot take there. And Watterson and Cordelia. The only real people she's lost to is Torres and Janaroba. But Dakota is good. Like, she beat Jessica Penne. Was, like, a bit too strong for Jessica Penne, in my opinion, there. I think she'll just go out there and just... I think she'll just outpower Angela Hill and just out-grapple her. I like Dakota. I think she's kind of good as well. 28 years old. Hill, I think, is 38. Let's just have a wicked guess. 37. But yeah, let's go Emily Dakota here. Getting the job done with the grappling. Getting an easy win. Hill could outrange her, though, and ruin a prospect. Moving on up the card. Nico Price versus Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe. I think Phil Rowe gets this one done over Nico Price. Nico Price hasn't looked good, man. He just hasn't looked good at all. And we look at his career, like, I get it. He beat Alex Oliveira in that last one. But, dude, hasn't looked good. And he's been out for a year now. You know? Like, he just hasn't looked the greatest. Let's just say how that is. He just hasn't looked the greatest. Like, against Oliveira, he looked slow. He didn't look great at all. He won, but against Mikel Pahea, like, he looked good, but I just dropped my phone. He looked good, but he still kind of just didn't look great, you know? And against Cerrone, it's just like, ever since his Luke K fight, he just hasn't been the same. You know, his Luke K rematch, he just hasn't been the same. So I just don't see him winning this one. Over Phil Rowe. I'm going Phil Rowe here to get this one done. Yeah, I really do believe he goes out there and just wins by first round KO. Jason Witt and Orion Kosuke are good two wrestlers. And he put both of them out. Lost to Gabe Green, but that was his debut. Who cares? Nico Price will lose by first round KO. I'm going Phil Rowe. Getting this one done. A prospect in Phil Rowe. Moving on up the card. To another fight on the card, which is to the main card already. Eric Anders versus Kyle Dawkins. I couldn't give a fuck about this one. Who cares? Well, yay, Anders Dawkins. Why is this on the main card? You could have had any other fight. Cortez Hebos, I actually would have preferred on the main card, but that's on the early prelims or the prelims. I don't even know. I'll go Kyle Dawkins. I don't know. Shit. Man, I hate this card, man. It's a fucking long card. Jesus. It's not gonna, like, this is like a pay-per-view. I'm gonna go Kyle Dawkins, though, over Eric Anders. Dawkins looked shit in his last fight against Roman Lindsay, but we kind of found out that Roman Lindsay's kind of good and very good and underrated. That's something we have found out. He beat Jamie Pickett. Whatever happened against Holland there, lost to Phil Hawes, but he's good enough, I think, to like catch Anders in like some darts or something like that. He did it at Jamie Pickett. So I'm going to pick him to beat Eric Anders, who, he didn't win against Yin Park. People call that a robbery, but man, he clearly lost that fight. That's a robbery to split decision. Should have been unanimous for Yin Park. But lost to Nunez. He just hasn't looked good. Like, beat Darren Stewart. Big deal. He'll be a future champ because he beat him. Should have lost him here, Shard, as well. We're going to pick Kyle Dawkins here. Get this one done by, like, sub, Darce choke or something like that. Round 1 in, like, a scramble. Moving on. And plus he's 29. Anders is 35. Moving on up the card. Jack Hermansson versus Roman Lindsay. Originally supposed to be Derek Brunson. I was going to actually pick up Hermansson to beat Brunson. I'll just say that there and there. I actually was going to pick Hermansson to beat Brunson. Hermansson, he's going to lose to Lindsay, I think. Lindsay's stepping on a short notice, I understand, but I think Lindsay's going to... this is so 50-50. I'm going to go to Lindsay, though. Hermansson's so basic, I think. On the feet. He looked good against Chris Curtis, but again, Curtis took it on short notice. Same with Lindsay here, but... I mean, sucks for Hermansson, man. You get Till and Brunson, they pull out. You'll get Curtis and Lindsay. Two contenders on the rise, but... I'm going to go for Roman Lindsay, I think, here. I picked Curtis to beat Hermansson, but I didn't expect Curtis to do nothing for 3 rounds. Lindsay's going to beat him. And the only way I see Hermansson winning, I don't see him out grappling Lindsay, or don't see him subbing Lindsay on the ground, like gassing him or anything. I don't think that's going to happen. He has to make Lindsay tired somehow. And I don't think he's going to get there in the later rounds. And it's only a 3-rounder. I'm going to go to Lindsay, man. Yeah. By standing TKO round 1. It'll be a scrap. I just think that Lindsay gets this one done. You know, Sean Strickland, like, you know, got kind of picked apart for 3 rounds. So if Lindsay, if he needs to, can just use this at range. But I just think he'll go out there and win by, I don't know. Shabazian was kind of picking him apart. But the gas tank kind of led Hermansson to favor. But Hermansson's pacing isn't the best. But it's just, I don't know. Vettori beat him in a stand-up fight. Vettori isn't skilled. We're going to Lindsay. It'll be a scrap. Lindsay will land one good punch, rock Hermansson, and get him out of there against the cage. In like an early stoppage, but who cares? I think this is Lindsay time. I'm going to go Roman Lindsay. I think he gets it done. Beat Phil Hodge, beat Kyle Dawkins, 2 impressive wins. He'll beat Jack Hermansson. Moving on. People picking Hermansson, but it's close. Moving on up the card. Tied Tuivasa versus Sergey Pavlovich. Fuck this fight. Get it cancelled. I hope it gets cancelled. One of them get injured per week. This week. We can reschedule it for Perth, but Pavlovich is just going to put him out cold, I think. Bad fight. Bad management. I'll make an individual prediction breakdown for this and the main event later this week. So stay tuned. But, I think Pavlovich wins. I think Pavlovich will win. Pavlovich is good, man. And he beat Derek Lewis. Early stoppage or not, he beat Lewis and wrecked him in round 1. Dropped Lewis in round 1, which is huge. Tuivasa couldn't do that. I get it, Tuivasa had a better victory and better KO style than Pavlovich, but he didn't smoke Lewis in round 1. He didn't drop Lewis in round 1. He didn't rock him all over the place. Lewis was rocking him. Sergey Pavlovich, I think, is on momentum right now. Like, he beat Shamil, beat Lewis, about to maybe beat Ty. And Ty, stop getting KO'd by Gon. Gon has power in his hands, I get it. But he doesn't really KO people with his hands. And he did it to Ty. And I get Ty had a good showing to knock down Gon in Paris, but he beat Lewis, beat Sakai in a close first round, by the way, where he barely threw anything. Sakai we're talking about. I'm going with, and Hardy rocked him. Greg Hardy rocked him. I get Tuivasa, Aussie, and a Kiwi. I think so. I might think of, I don't know. Yeah, New Zealand. Or Australia. And he's from Australia. Okay, whatever then. He's an Aussie. And I get they have good chins, but he's going to get KO'd round 1. It's all going to add up to him being out cold. Yeah, and he can't grapple as well. So, and that's the way Sergey Pavlovich seems to lose. So, Sergey Pavlovich, first round KO. Moving on up the card. Matthias Nicola versus Matt Schnell. What the hell is this? What is this layout on this card, man? I'll go Matthias Nicola, I think. Matt Schnell, he's just chinny. I don't know how he didn't get put out to Shima Duerji. How did he not get put out? But he is chinny, though. Like, one more solid punch on his chin, he's out cold. Just, Shima Duerji just has no fucking power in his hands. So, he just only has speed, that's it, really. I just don't see him winning. You see Schnell's last fight, and he had a great win over Shima Duerji. Phenomenal win. But you need to look before that. Brandon Royval fight. Just tapped immediately with both hands. Right then and there. Rogerio Bontorin fight. You know. Just got out grappled by Bontorin. I know Bontorin missed weight, but still. No excuse. To be honest with you there. Beat Tyson Nam. I just don't think he was good at. I just don't think he's gonna submit Matthias Nicola. And Nicola was good. Like, he beat David Dvorak, beat Tim Elliott. Should have lost the cap, in my opinion, an El Cape. But I think he's kind of built himself into a new contender, and I think he's 29 years old. Winner of this one will be a big name and a top guy in the division. Who probably faces the winner of this versus Perez, Takara France winner. Why not? But I think Nicola was just gonna catch Chanel coming in with like a big check left hook and put him away. Chanel's older, taking more damage. I don't think Chanel will out-grapple Nicola as well. So I think Matthias Nicola gets this one done. Moving on up the card to the co-main event. Rafael dos Santos versus Bryan Barberena. I'm going to be going with, I'll go, Rafael dos Santos here. Grappling with Bryan Barberena. And I just think Bryan Barberena, if he wins this, man, fucking good for him. Honestly. What a resume. Listen, look at Barberena's resume. I'll get to the fight in a second, but Robbie Lawler, Matt Brown, Darian Weeks, who cares? Jason Witt, who cares? Anthony Ivy, who cares? Let's be real, Randy Brown, who cares? Luke Kay, Jake Ellenberger, Leon Edwards, screw Joe Proctor, beat Colby Covington, Sage Northcutt, Joe Ellenberger. Dude has a resume. If he just got like a Woodley on there or something like that, like, that would have been so good. Actually, though. Like, he's been looking good recently, though. Like, he beat Robbie Lawler, but I just don't think, Robbie Lawler's there anymore, man. And Matt Brown, like, that was a war back and forth. I think the damage is going to eventually get to him. But I think he'll just get out-grinded here by Dos Santos. Like, the Darren Weeks fight was either way. The Jason Witt fight, he got out-grappled by Jason Witt, who's just chinny. And Dos Santos, man, like, he hasn't been looking terrible lately. Like, yeah, he got TKO'd by the left hook to Rafael Fiziev in the 5th round, but arguably could have been 2-2 going into it. And he got checked left hook by Fiziev, who has that one-punch power. Barberena, it's like slugfest against the cage. Boom, boom, boom. He's like Poirier. You need to have big shots to put him actually out. Not like Fiziev, where it's like, big punch, you're down and out. You know, and he beat Moicano. Short notice, I understand, but still. Very short notice, but he still beat Moicano, and he kind of dominated Moicano as well. To be honest with you. Outside of the 5th round, kind of dominated Moicano. I think he's gonna... And Moicano's been looking good lately. Moicano just beat Brad Riddell. I think he's gonna be Bryan Barberena. I don't think Barberena can put him out with the big punches. And the body shots from Dos Santos will be big. And maybe leg kicks as well. And grappling. I think it'll be a close 29-28. Split decision win in a kind of competitive war for Dos Santos. And he'll get the job done. Going back up to welterweight as well. Moving on up the card to the main event. Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland. The big one. I'm going Kevin Holland. I think Wonderboy's done. I really do. Not just because of his recent performances. He's just getting old and older each time and each day. Like, he's 39 years old. Soon, in like 2 months, or like 2 months now, he'll be 40 years old. And if he loses this one, I wouldn't be surprised if he just calls it quits. Like, he lost. He's just not there anymore, I don't think, man. Like, he lost to Bilal Muhammad, got destroyed by Bilal Muhammad. Badly. Like, I don't even know how he survived through that. Like, Bilal doesn't really dominate people. Like, yeah, he kind of dominated Luke Kay, but not really. Luke Kay kind of stayed in there as well. Sean Brady was kind of staying in there against Bilal Muhammad. But Stephen Thompson, I know it might look like it's just Stephen Thompson getting destroyed. It might look weird for us, but he got absolutely battered against Bilal. Like, badly. Gilbert Burns' fight was close. He lost, though, to Burns. But he can beat guys like Jeff Neal and Vicente Luque, I get it. But those guys don't have the reach as to Kevin Holland. Neal might have the reach, but he doesn't. He might have the range, I meant. He might have the range, but he doesn't. He got picked apart for 5 rounds, and Holland beat... Holland beat Neal in not the contender... I was about to say the contender series. No, on the regional scenes. I just don't see him winning. Like, guys like Pettis can beat him, you know, knock him out badly. You're out cold. You know, Darren Till, if Darren Till can do it as well. Thompson could have lost the fight, I understand, but still. Woodley, whatever, Prime Woodley, or whatever there. Should have arguably won against Woodley in the rematch, but I just don't see him winning. I don't. I think Holland's going to beat him. I think Thompson will be looking all right, landing some kicks at range, maybe winning the leg kick battle against Kevin Holland. Holland lands some back. It's just a leg kick, shin to shin battle. Thompson lands some shots, but Holland lands some shots as well. Spin back for. I think when Thompson lands those spinning back kicks to the body, Holland's gonna come in with a big shot, rock Thompson, kind of get him stumbled, maybe get a cut over on the side of the eye. You know, he's dripping down blood. Holland lands some shots. Thompson lands some shots as well. It's the end of the round. Maybe Holland wins round 1. Then round 2, Thompson lands a front kick, backs up, 1-2 down the pipe from Holland, and puts Wonderboy out against the cage and put him out. You know, similar to like Daniel Rodriguez, Dwight Grant, or something like that. I think Holland's going to get it done, man. I really do. He lost to Chimaev, whatever. It's Chimaev. No shame into losing to him. You know, not at all. And he took that on short, like a day's notice. He was supposed to fight Daniel Rodriguez, but he beat Tim Means. He beat Alex Oliveira. I think he's going to beat Stephen Thompson. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is the full card breakdown and in detail predictions for UFC Fight Night Orlando. Thompson versus Holland. I'll make an individual prediction vid for this tomorrow, so you can get in-depth like view of this fight. I'll give you that tomorrow. Yeah. Peace.